How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the What's Up Eddie channel. And of course, I'm the one and only Eddie. I'm so glad to have you guys here today. And today we're going to talk about angel numbers. It is by far my favorite subject because it's the first thing that happened to me once I had my spiritual awakening of sorts. And you start to notice synchronicities in a lot of things, but primarily for me, it was numbers. And this is what started the chain reaction to the following concepts after the fact. But today we're going to concentrate on angel numbers. And here are some examples of some common numbers or frequent numbers. And this is how they'll get a hold of us primarily. And this is to get our attention. So it'll be repeating numbers like 222, 888. For me, it started out with 911 and 333. I saw these numbers everywhere. I'm talking about everywhere, guys, like on the back of a license plate, on some phone numbers, like on a billboard. You know, even it's not so much primarily like my things. I saw them on other stuff as well, like someone else's phone. And they'll do this constantly until you guys can actually like notice, like, oh, wait a minute, is this number trying to say something? And that's how it started with me. All right, guys, so I'm going to teach you how to read numbers and look them up. So say that you got 111, and for the sake of argument, we'll say that it came in at 1111. So what you're going to do is you're going to look up angel number 111. And then what you start to realize after a while, because everything starts to grow, right? So you'll realize, wait a minute, does 1 mean something? Just the number 1? And it does. So you'll look up multiple numbers, and you'll do this with every number you come across. So it'll be 111. Well, we'll start with 1, 1, 1, or 111. And you start to realize, oh, wow, this is crazy. And it'll do this with, you can do this with any number, but specifically for this one, it'll start out with 1111, which is like, it means, if I can remember on the top of my memory, is like a gateway's opening, a portal. You just manifested the energy in order to do something. 1 means like starting something, the beginning of a cycle. 1 is a master number, 11, and it's usually in regards to like it's like a duality. It shows duality is one of them. That's all I know for right now on that one. And then 111, it actually, the message will tell you that be careful what you say, because everything that you say becomes your reality. And this is just me like looking these numbers up, and you'll start to get the same thing. Well, you'll be able to call it right when it comes up, and it'll remind you, oh wait, 1111, that means a portal is happening right now. Make a wish, like, or like make sure that I'm, you know, look at, like, I'll have a card with my manifestations on it, or my intention cards, and I'll always pop it open on 1111 and make sure that I'm saying what I want, not what I don't want. And this is how you're going to look it up. So it's easy. Go online, look up angel number 1111, and then read the description. And the next part of this is the actual application of it. Now, what you're going to want to do is, once it shows up, you'll know already, oh, this pertains to my boyfriend or my girlfriend, and you'll know exactly what you're supposed to do from that position. You know what I mean? Whatever the advice is. And that's literally how you apply it. It's really simple. All right, guys, so what we're going to talk about on this one is that there's different patterns to it. So it's not just a sequence number like 1111. It could be 322 or 3223, and it goes up to all the way up to 5. But let's just stick with 4 for right now. And some examples are like this. This is called a palindromic number. And what a palindromic number is it's reversible. So it can be read this forwards, like linear, how we normally read, or it can be nonlinear. It can be read backwards. It mirrors itself. So it can be read both ways. Now, once this part started to happen with me, it cracked open a whole new like level to it. So there's levels to all of this, and it'll grow the more that the messages come in, and you'll know intuitively. You'll get that intuitive hit. Pop, dang, I gotta look this number up. And you realize that it's not just one number. It's multiple numbers. Like I said in the last example, it's 32, 23, and then it's 23, 23. So it's not just one way, but it depends on how you want to look it up. And for me, this was like a game breaker. Like I was like, it was like, man, I just won the lottery again, because it opened up, it activated a whole new learning lesson plan that I needed. So for this called palindromic for spelling purposes, palindromic number, and this is really neat, really cool. And remember, guys, when you start finding these numbers, it's like the progression is what I'm talking about. Is once you get to the next level, it cracks open this another part of it, and you realize that, wow, it's not just a number that I see primarily. So you can see on a back of a license plate, XLG91 or 991. You open your phone, your cell phone, and the time is 9:11 p.m. And this is how it works. So you'll get this license plate and you see the 911, and then you'll have 911 on your cell phone. So they're literally trying to get your attention, and this will happen back to back. Like they'll keep doing it over and over and over again, and it's just until your mind starts to recognize these numbers. And that's how it works. Like, and there's multiple, it's infinite potentiality on this. You can literally find these numbers anywhere, like, and it all synchronizes, and the more that you do it, the more synchronizing it happens, and it'll literally pertain to exactly what you need at that time period. And you'll ask a question during that day, and these numbers will come up, and literally the answer to your question is within these numbers. Yeah, you guys, so it took me a while to figure this out. And the way that it actually, spirit or the angels got my attention was, I was in my Honda and I'm driving and I'm going 33 miles an hour, and on the, so my reading for my miles per hour, it actually shows the numbers, and then I had the time which said 3:33, and then I get out the car, and then the apartment number is 33, or the building number rather is 333. And I was like, all right. And like literally, sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but for me, spirit literally has to kick me upside the head. And I was like, maybe there's something here. And still, you guys, I'm telling you, like, it still didn't do anything for me. It took me another year, but it was like spirit dropping seeds here and there, like throughout my life. And I'm talking about like maybe like an 8-year period of when I started seeing these numbers to actually looking it up. And this happened probably, I would say, in the last 6 months. I finally look up the number, and then I realized this whole new world starts to pop open. I think it was the first number I looked up was 333, and then I realized, wait a minute, all these numbers have meanings to it, and it tripped me out because it actually pertained to the things that was going on in my life at that time period. And so for me, it started out with the 333 or 911, 222, and then it started to evolve from there. And so another good example of this is, and it happened to me like 3 times, where it was like defining moments, and this is how spirit will work for you. Like they'll get your attention, and they'll try their hardest to do so until you start looking it up. And so I'm here today to tell you, and if you're on this video, you're resonating with it, you're already at the vibration or frequency to learn it. So another good example of this was, I would say it was like 2 months before it actually happened, I started getting the number 216, and I got that, like, on the time, it was the date, so it would have been like February 16th, and this is how it began, and it kept showing up over and over and over again. And that's how the numbers work. Whatever you need to hear at that time period, they're actually either tell you the future, or they'll forewarn you about like a circumstances going on. And for me, 216 kept showing up, and then I look it up, and it reads as follows: when you keep seeing the angel number 216, it's a message from the divine realm that you are doing a great job at fulfilling your life purpose. They are acknowledging all your efforts, and soon they will be rewarded richly. All right, you guys, so I'm getting this number over and over and over again, and I'm like, yo, I'm about to get paid. I'm gonna go get me some Mega Millions, some Powerball. And like each week I'm sitting there like, oh man, I'm about to get it, and it doesn't happen. You guys, spirit don't work this way. It it takes so much energy for that to actually happen. But what they were telling me actually came to fruition. And right up to the, I would say like the 2 week mark, 3 week mark. So I actually ended up getting a scholarship. So, but the way it happened before that was the most interesting part of this story. So I ended up finding this mentor, and she's like, I'm vibing with her. She's talking about all these things that I like on the spiritual realm, whether that's angel numbers, finding your purpose, living your purpose daily, and having my own spiritual practices, whether that's healing. And I was like, and I was really jiving with her, and I was like, you know what, I don't really have the money to do this, and I was like, you know what, these numbers keep telling me to go for it, go for this purpose. I don't really know what this purpose is yet, but like it took like that faith, that blind faith, to actually get there. And so I ended up hitting her up. um, I like sign up, and at first there was no scholarship. It was just like, all right, I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna make ends meet. And I go on the interview with her, the pre-questionnaire, and then I actually go on the call. But like I would say it was like from that start period and into the next period was like where she actually announced that she was going to do a scholarship. So I ended up doing an essay and writing the essay for her, and it was crazy. So I kept getting 216 in between, like the beginning of it and then all the way to the end. And I'm talking about like with frequency. And so it tripped me out so much because it happened, I would say, like an hour before it was actually announced. Like, oh, Eddie, you're a scholarship winner for $30,000, and that's how much the scholarship was going to be worth. And I was just like, wow, and it's such a prime example. And after this moment, I was sold. I was like, you know what? These numbers totally are coming from my either higher self or the archangels. And it's different for everyone, let's just call it your higher self or your guides. But it totally just happened for me, and this is really when it took off. Yeah, so depending on the energy that you put out. So if you're putting a little bit of energy, you're only going to get a little bit back. They only work with whatever energy you're putting out. And this is like the law of giving and receiving. So if it's a universal law of giving and receiving, that means that the angels have to abide by the same rules that we have to abide. So if you're giving out a little bit, you're going to get a little bit in return. So the more you give out, the more it'll come back to you. And you say, well, how do I give more energy? It's simple. The belief in it enough, the fact that you believe what they're saying, is pivotal. And if you show action as well. So if you get the angel number, it comes through the clock, it says 216, and you look up 216. If you look up 216 and say this is BS, I don't believe it, whatever, it's only going to come back like they're just going to keep sending that number over and over again. You're never going to get anywhere with it. So this goes off of like intuition, belief on the whole thing as well. So if you look it up, you get the number, you look it up, and you get the advice, and then you actually follow the advice, apply it to your life, you're starting to put out more energy out there because you put more energy into it. And the crazy thing, you guys, is it'll start to, it makes so much more sense. Like it'll apply to exactly what's going on in your life. Like that's the big thing. Like that was like, it's like I just broke like a code, like a universal code that wasn't supposed to happen. And that was exciting to me, and also what it did for me, it was like, yo, like God exists, like there's all these universal laws. And it filled the gap with me on so many things, that like there's something in charge over the whole thing, like, and that there's something that's trying to contact me specifically, which made me feel so special, and that's the huge thing with spirituality, like it's going to answer questions that you've had in this lifetime. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening and showing up. Just know that you guys are resonating on the same level, so just keep doing the research. I just want to let you guys know that I love you, and that is the highest vibration. It is the answer, the key to everything that we have going on this platform right now. If we move more towards love for ourselves primarily, and then we can spill, that cup flows over, and that love spills over to other people. And that's literally where we need to be. And that's where this is what I want for this channel, is to just push out love and push out knowledge that's been suppressed. and get that out to you guys, you know. I love you guys. Make sure you subscribe. Also, leave some comments if you like this subject matter. I can do more like it, and just subject matter that you guys want to hear about in the spiritual world of things. I love you guys. I will see you in the next one.